Hey everyone, this is Annindita Palaus, and I wanted to record this short little video about the ancient Hawaiian technique known as the Ho'oponopono. You might have heard about it, or maybe this is the first time you are learning about it. So I got to know about Ho'oponopono technique many years ago through the book Zero Point by Dr. Joe Vitale and Dr. Hugh, and it has been quite a game changer for me ever since I started practicing the Ho'oponopono prayer. And the Ho'oponopono prayer is very simple. It consists of just 4 statements. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And the reason this prayer resonated with me so much, and the reason it has been a game changer, is because it resonated with me. Because I'm not, if you have ever taken any of my programs or workshops, you know that I am usually not getting too much into rituals or anything that has too much technicality. So usually I don't use too much rituals in any of my programs or workshops. I just love to keep things simple. But the reason this particular prayer I just loved so much is because it totally aligned with what I believe to be true, is we all create our own reality. And if you understand the law of attraction, then you have to understand that every single thing that you experience in your life is because you have attracted it. So if I'm watching the news, or if I'm watching TV and I see that there is a terrorist attack at somewhere in one part of the world, then I have attracted it. Because if I would not have attracted it, if I would have not created that reality, then there is no way that it would have popped up into my reality experience. Because the law of attraction is a universal law. It's like gravity. It never makes mistakes. It's not like one day I decide to jump from the building and gravity fails to work on me. Every single time I jump from the building, I will fall down. I'll not start flying. Because, that's gravity. It works every single time. Same like the law of attraction. It works every single time. It never ever makes a mistake. And if you understand the law of attraction, then you have to understand that every single thing that is there in your experience, that you are experiencing or watching through any of your physical senses, you must have created it at some level. And the whole idea behind the Ho'oponopono prayer is taking absolute responsibility for all of your creations. Understanding that, not only the good things in your life are your creation, but even the bad things in your life. And even if they are not in your life, but just the fact that you're observing something, even if it is somebody else going through a certain experience that you are observing, the fact that you are observing means that at some level you have attracted it to your experience. And so when you say the first statement of the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is, I'm sorry, you're not saying I'm sorry to the person. Because sometimes when people think about the statement I'm sorry, and let's say there is somebody who did something wrong to you, something really terrible that you can never forgive that person for. And then the Ho'oponopono prayer can be used for a situation, for a person. Even if that person is no longer in the physical, you can still do it to resolve any relationship issues or resolve any other issues in your life. So when you're saying you're sorry, I'm sorry, you're not really saying that to the person. In fact, you're saying that to your higher self, to the part of you that had been creating this particular reality, that particular experience, unknowingly. Of course, we wouldn't create a bad experience for ourselves deliberately. We do it because a lot of the time we are just reacting to our environment. And a lot of the time we are not being mindful of what we are reacting towards and how our reactions, how our emotions, which are nothing but energy in motion. Emotion is energy in motion. So many times we are not even aware what our emotions are actually creating. And so we are just creating by default. So when you're saying I'm sorry, you're saying sorry to your higher mind for not being a deliberate creator, for creating this certain reality because you were not deliberate, you were not mindful, whatever might be the reason. So you're saying sorry to your higher self for that creation. You're not saying sorry to the person who did something wrong, because in reality that person does not even exist. That person is just a projection of your consciousness. And if you want to understand better what I'm talking about, you can go back to the previous video I made about self-love, where I explained a little bit about how our entire experience of life is really just our projection, because as within, so without. And in one of my future videos, I plan to talk a little bit more about that. But coming back to the Ho'oponopono prayer, the first statement, I'm sorry, is really a statement of acknowledging that you had been creating something that you don't like, and you just did it because you were creating something mindlessly, you were not being mindful, you were not being deliberate. But now you are willing to take back your personal power, because when you are blaming somebody else, when you're complaining for your misfortune, what you are doing is you are just giving away your personal power to that person or to that situation. You are saying that something happened to you that you had no control over, which is absolutely not true. I know sometimes certain things, like, if you get robbed or somebody gets murdered or somebody gets raped, people just have a very hard time wrapping their mind around a thing like this, that how in the world could I have created this terrible thing? How in the world I attracted a rapist? Or how in the world I attracted a robber? Nobody wants to take that kind of personal responsibility. And that's why it just makes us feel better to point finger at somebody else, to blame somebody else. And that makes us feel better that at least I didn't create it for myself. But in reality, when you are pointing a finger and when you're complaining and blaming somebody else, that's an extremely disempowering position to take, because you are saying to the universe that you have no control over your life, that others can just come in and do whatever they want to you, which is not true. But you are such a powerful creator that if that is what you believe in, that is exactly what you're going to create. So I always believe in taking my own personal power and not complaining or blaming somebody else for my misfortune if anything bad ever happens to me. Of course, I take pride in all my good creations too, because I've created a lot of amazing stuff for myself in my life. But for the things that don't go well, I take personal responsibility 100% of the times, that yes, I have created that. So when you're saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, you're really saying that to your higher mind. You're saying that to your higher consciousness. You're not saying that to any other person who's the aggressor. And then the third and the fourth statement is, thank you, I love you. The reason you say thank you is because every single time when you ask, it is given. So when you ask something from the universe, in this case when you're asking for forgiveness, it is given. You just assume that it is given because it is. There is nothing in the universe that is holding anything back from you. It is only us with our limiting beliefs that makes it harder for us to accomplish certain goals. The universe or God or any higher power or any other thing that you might believe in is never ever holding anything back from you. But what happens is, if you can imagine, this is just a simple analogy that I love to use, that if you go to a waterfall, say the Niagara Falls, so the Niagara Fall is just this unlimited abundant waterfall. There is no shortage of water over there. But one person can go there with a bucket, one person can go there with a cup, and one person can go there with a huge barrel and fill up water. Now the Niagara Fall is not saying saying to the person who goes there with a barrel that you are so greedy, how dare you bring a barrel here and take so much water just for yourself. And the Niagara Fall is not saying to the person who is just there with little teaspoon that, oh, you are the martyr, you're the one that sacrificed for others, you're so virtuous, you're so kind. The Niagara Fall is not judging anybody. Just like the universe is abundantly showering its abundance to every single person in exactly the same way. But some people are going to that abundant waterfall with just a cup, and some people are going with just a teaspoon, and some are going there with a bucket, and some are going there with huge barrels, and they are filling up their containers accordingly. So that is the only reason why we feel that sometimes the universe is not granting our wish, because it's not the universe holding us back, it is our own limiting beliefs. Every single time you ask, it is given. It is a done deal. So that's why you say thank you and I love you. That's the last statement, is because love is who we all are. Love is what every single thing is made up of, and that is our true essence. And so the prayer consists of the 4 statements. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And this prayer has absolutely changed my life. Every single time I feel like things are not working out for me, or I feel like life has, taken a turn that I didn't want it to take, or, it could be anything. Maybe there's a goal that I am trying to accomplish, or maybe there's a certain relationship that is not going as well, or if, there is a person, maybe a friend, a relative with whom I'm not, getting along well. I just do it on every single situation, and the situation resolves itself, because it just brings me back to my source, and it connects me to my higher mind. So I hope that video was helpful to you, and I would suggest just give this Ho'oponopono technique. This is an ancient Hawaiian prayer technique. Give it a try and let me know in the comments below how it went for you. And if you like such videos, then make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you get notified every single time I post a video. And if you like this video, then like, leave your comment, and share with your friends and family. Bye for now.